I asked that speaking here, we have no microphone, so please speak up. I'll call the EDA meeting of December 17th to order. We do have a quorum, and I would entertain a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Questions or comments? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Public hearings, this is going to be joint with council, and President Hansler will be running the public hearing.
7:34, we'll open the public hearing for Barret Egg Service, doing business as Barret Pet Food Innovations for business subsidy. So we've got, John, did you want to?
Yeah, I'll start off. We have representatives here from Barret, as well as Jason Murray from David Brown and Associates and Carol Anderson from Morrison County Community Development. I will actually turn it over to them to give the introduction and background information before we go for the public input. Okay, so Carol?
Okay, Carol Anderson from Community Development of Morrison County. I'm just here to introduce the project right now. Tom and Mike Barret are here. They're some of the owners of Barret Pet Food. This is just to give information on what they would like to do with their expansion to Little Falls. This would be a 150,000 square foot facility on property east of Highway 10, just before the 371 split. The total project is approximately $20 million. Including building and equipment. They will have approximately 100 jobs within 3 years after the construction of the facility is complete. It's going to take about a year to build the facility and get the equipment set. I will let the Barretts talk about their customers, their benefits, wages they pay. They manufacture a vast array of pet food for a variety of animals. So with that, I would like to introduce Tom and Mike Barret.
All right, good evening, everybody. As mentioned by Carol, I'm Tom Barret. I co-manage Barret Pet Food with my sister, co-own it with my father and my mother, Mike and Bunny. She's not here this evening. So we are a small, at least in manufacturing terms, pet food manufacturer in Brainerd, between Brainerd and Pierce. We specialize in manufacturing pet food, mainly super premium pet food for dogs and cats, but also for small animals, birds, that type of thing, but generally dog and cat food. We manufacture for foods for companies all over the world. A lot of our exports will go to Asia, Canada, South America, but primarily here in the US and Canada. Our customer base ranges from customers in California to Toronto to the United Kingdom to right here in Minnesota. So we have quite a range of customers and as well as end users of the food that we make. Currently, our company consists of just about 100 employees in our facility south of Brainerd. We've been growing at a rate of about 30 employees a year for the last couple of years. Generally, we were doubling. Now it's, as we've gotten bigger, not quite doubling, but close to it. I've been part of the business since 2009. My father started it a few years prior to that, and initially started the business as a feed and fertilizer business, and when Sarah and I got involved, turned it into pet food and then eventually super premium pet food, and so that's where we've really grown our business. We have of our 100 employees, we like to think that we provide a good place to work. We have, out of the 100 employees, generally speaking, we have very low turnover. I would say that if somebody works for us for a month, they don't leave. I think we've lost 2 people that have been with us over 2 years in the last 5 years, and that was both retirements. So we do try to focus on having a happy, healthy place to work with good benefits good pay, and that's how we try to attract our employees. So that's obviously something that is important to us, something that we would like to bring here to Little Falls. It is part of our culture to foster that and ensure that we give something back to the community, which I think Brainerd would probably say the same, although we're not necessarily in the city limits of Brainerd, but we do try to ensure that we give back to the community in several ways. But obviously, I think our employees would speak for that. So I think that's all I got.
Well, I don't really have anything to say. Tom kind of said it all, but I did bring some samples of what we make if anybody's interested. Maybe, yeah, I'll set them out here. And if anybody wants them, I really don't want to take them home.
We got supper tonight.
Yeah, there you go. Lunch is due.
Fruit snacks.
Yeah, don't miss the bearded dragon.
Yeah, dinner, Greg? Yeah, but I'm so hungry.
There's a lot more in here.
Here. Well, they're cooking like fast and move it around, Bob, so they can see on the,
Yeah, do that.
see if anybody recommends it on any local store shelves. Someone
You guys want to pass these around?
Yeah.
Well, I think the closest you can get any of that's probably Chuck and Don, so.
Oh, that would be the only natural.
Oh, yeah.
And the reptile would be found in PetSmart in St. Cloud, Petco as well. As well as, I know that there's one pet specialty store in Sartell that sells several of the foods, including signature food, which is one of our biggest sellers. But generally, you will find them in independent pet food stores throughout the U.S.
Okay.
Good evening, council and EDA members. As part of the business subsidy law, the requirement on this public hearing is that we fully disclose potential assistance through the city and other local resources. As part of this, we anticipate a max of about $3 million in local assistance. As part of that $3 million, it will be part of the Minnesota Investment Program targeted for $450,000. My understanding, the city's already held that public hearing on that application. A potential request up to $500,000 to Little Falls EDA for a revolving loan fund. We'll discuss TIF here in a moment, but the potential maximum assistance through the tax increment financing is $1,3,115,000. And then the final portion of it, yet to be a dollar amount yet to be zeroed in on, is a utility extension with the local gas company. We're anticipating between $500,000 and $750,000. Is that correct, Carol, or is it trending in about that $750,000 potentially? Okay. For assistance in that. So the total max through these programs or through the assistance, and again, this isn't directly through the city as part of the Minnesota Investment Fund. That's a relationship with the Minnesota Department of Employment and Economic Development, and potentially through the utility side, a relationship either with USDA or another state program to provide some assistance with that extension of the utility. So again, just for full disclosure, max of $3 million of total assistance.
Thank you. With that, we'll open it up for public comment. Anyone from the public wish to speak? I ask you to raise your hand and state your name and address for records. Okay, go ahead, Robin.
The voters spoke
Name
clearly.
and address, please.
Oh, Robin Hetzel, 807 First Street Southeast. The voters spoke clearly when they ousted Council President Jeremy Handler, then Rogue Mayor Zilka, who obviously doesn't care what the voters think, promptly appointed Jeremy to the Economic Development Association, of which he is the president. Zilka is the president, that is. Of course, Zilka wants a yes man on board so he can assure pet projects such as Barret Foods, Petfoods, gets to the head of the line regardless if the taxpayers lose out. I oppose. If Barret Petfoods cannot make a profit without taxpayer-funded corporate welfare dollars, they should go work for someone who can. Nothing personal, I just oppose economic grants in general, and for a lot of reasons you're about to hear. In an article, Little Falls Council supports Barret expansion. Quote, "We kind of pride ourselves on making anything no one else wants to do," Mike said. Mike said the odor was minimal because the company doesn't use products like intestines and other scraps. Mayor Greg Zilka said based on a tour he took of the current facility, there was not a terrible odor. It doesn't smell like a meat processing facility, Zilka said. But in another interview where Klobuchar visits Brainerd area pet food maker from the Brainerd Dispatch, it says the smell of pet food was pungent even outside the building, and the factory itself had deafening noise. Those on tour were given white coats to wear so the smell didn't transfer to their clothing. I believe the Barret folks spoke here about using kangaroo meats. From Rocky Pellegrino's Roo pet food crumble is proving popular overseas. The smell of dead roo, unmistakably to anyone who has cooked or worked with the animals, is overwhelming in Rocky's small work shed, where a team of
Time's
3
up, Robin.
workers
Thank you.
process a couple of marsupials each week.
Anyone else wish to speak? Go ahead.
Good evening, Shannon Martinson, 15480 17th Avenue Northeast. As some of you probably remember, we built a new facility out in the same business park. And we also have an employee that drives past that plant every day. He's never smelled anything, and I've talked to people and peers at various times and also said there's no smell. So from a fellow business member in the park, we're actually looking forward to these folks coming to town and creating more opportunity. So thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak? Go ahead.
Linda Burgraff, 1032 Fifth Avenue Southeast, Little Falls. As a previous small business owner in Little Falls, I am in favor of the city helping Barret Pet Food Innovations with funding to help them expand their company into Little Falls. It will bring much needed jobs into the area, jobs which will help other businesses grow, which means more jobs. We need businesses in town that pay good wages and benefits. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Jason Johnson, 15480 17th Avenue Northeast. I'm also in favor of this project. We are neighbors to the future location proposed here. I think it's a wonderful thing. We are a perfect example of a small business that has come to town with help from the city. And I look at just the initial impact and the things that people that come to see our business spend in town, the money we spend in town, buy from other local people. We've bought vehicles, we've hired employees, we've hired people. It has all been positive. And what these people can bring to this community far outshadows what we do. And I think it's an amazing opportunity. And I look forward to them being my neighbor.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak? Anyone else before we start round two? Go ahead, Robin.
A new study from the Reason Foundation employs a simple scientific model filled with county-level job creation database and business tax incentive data to explore the relationships between tax incentives and job creation to answer that very question. The study finds no correlation between tax incentives and job creation, suggesting the program and perhaps others like it have serious flaws to their ability to create jobs. The logic of this model is that by comparing two groups of counties that are similar in many ways, except for their incentive spending, we should expect counties with more incentive spending to have more jobs. The findings shown in the accompanying graph reveal that despite spending more than their counterparts on job creation tax